Hello everyone, I'm Yubar Reingok, and welcome to another episode of Yubar Talks. This is where I talk about something on my mind while gameplay goes on in the background on screen, so you don't get completely bored by my ranting. And since I'm talking about The Division today, why not have The Division playing? Now, this game is amazing. I love it. I just watched Angry Joe's review on it prior to writing this, and I personally can't get enough of this game. It is most of what I could have hoped for. For those of you paying attention, thank you. For those not, I said most of what I could hope for. It should be apparent now to those playing this game that there are glaring differences between the spectacular trail revealed back during E3 2013 and what we actually got here. Now, not all of it isn't there. The damage to vehicles and such is like what we saw in the trailer. It's extremely detailed, as is the entire city, and I mean that. I feel safe in saying that a lot of work and budget on this game went into map design. It never feels like any two streets are the same. No two apartments feel the same. And yeah, the stores are the same basic design layout in some cases. But even then, they are still buried in between them. It feels like that. And right around this post-decimated and emancipated and whatever ever aided you want to call it, Manhattan, is just wonderful. I mean, it's terrible, yes, this hopefully never happens, but running around and looking and exploring, it's like I'm back in Skyrim or I'm playing Fallout. I never feel like I've seen everything, or I feel like I'm going to miss something amazing, and that every time I play through, I'll find something new. You know, I went around this place, now I came back, and all of a sudden, well, wait, what's that over there? That's what it feels like to me. So major props to the design team on this. Someone give them all raises and a bonus, man. They fucking earned it. But we still need to look at the glaring differences between the trailer and the game. Now, while the map and the chaotic destruction of the cars is the same as what we saw in the trailer, the rest isn't so much. Sure, we see the same abilities, but I haven't seen any drones overhead yet scouting. I mean, I don't really care about that crap, honestly. But, you know, it's a cool feature, you know. But still. But the most glaring issue to me that I really want to address in this video is really something that you see at the start and end of the trailer that we saw back in 2013. It's where it looks like the players all kind of converged together somehow to form their team. Like they eventually joined on this one guy, you know? Now, there is matchmaking in the game, yes, but it isn't spontaneous like we see in the trailer. Okay, yes, that is a large leap for a game to make. But it is fairly difficult to do, right? Well, if I can run up to random players and form a team in Final Fantasy XIV, I can sure as hell do it here. So, yeah, you can do it, but that kind of spontaneism in this, they might have overshot it. I mean, yes, it can be done, but yeah. Which brings me to the next point of this, the end of the trailer. This is where the players we see shoot off a flare gun for a chopper. Afterwards, they're attacked by another team of players and have to defend themselves. Now, this is in the game, but there's a catch. It can only happen if you enter the Wild West area of the game map, known as the Dark Zone. It's a contaminated area of Manhattan where those left outside were banned to defend for themselves, including rogue division agents. This is the only place on the map where players can run into each other as well as kill one another. Other than that, you would have to be in a safe house, a sort of central hub of that specific area where whatever's happening. And yes, you can use a flare gun, but again, it's only in the dark zone, and that's only summoning a chopper to pick up your stuff that you literally can't walk out with. Now, it's easy to guess why this may be, but the real question is why isn't the entire game like that? Why can't we run around, running into other players and blowing each other's heads off, or forming a team? There really isn't any reason, right? Actually, I'm going to jump to Ubisoft's defense here. See, in Grand Theft Auto Online, that's exactly what it's like, which has led to a serious issue. And yes, I do mean it. You can't drive or even go near another player without fear from both of you that you'll have to defend yourself against the other. And thanks to the trolls and just general fear now, it's always a constant fear ever since the early days. So I can see why Ubisoft may have not done that here. Having players worried to go around corners and other players ambush or just around other players in general is just scary, and it works in Grand Theft Auto fine, you can get around it, but here it can be kind of bad. But that should be part of the Division's identity in all truth. But what about a solution to this? There is one, and I think I know what it is. Well, okay, maybe more than one. See, in Grand Theft Auto Online, you have a feature known as passive mode. While in passive mode, players can't target you, and therefore, they can't kill you. They can still blow your car up if you get out of it, though. They will pay you for the repairs, but still, pain in the ass. The drawback, though, is that you can't fight at all, not even against NPCs, so if you get a wanted level, you're screwed. But the Division could rectify this. In the most optimistic version of this, why not have it where players can turn on and off their own PvP preference? All the players can run around in the normal map like that, and not have to worry about being targeted by trolls and such. The Dark Zone still remains a free-for-all zone. That shouldn't change. That should stay exactly as it is. Dark Zone should be that kind of crazy, chaotic thing that is a risk to go into. I mean, you don't want to be able to have, okay, yes, in a normal game you can do this, but then you go into the Dark Zone, it makes more sense to keep it that Wild West sort of feeling, that chaotic feeling. It's a risk, and it should be. But this is really more about the regular areas. Now, players who do have PvP on can be targeted or killed by other players who also have it turned on. Remember, though, this is the most optimistic setting we're looking at for this game. The most realistic, though, would be that turning it off means you are running solo through the game unless in a party. With it on, you can run around and see other players, and have that risk of maybe being shot at, but also of finding unsuspecting allies as well, in whatever situation you may come across. This would be the most realistic thing I could see happening for Ubisoft, to make it more like what we saw back in 2013. Again, Ubisoft, watching this video, I'm giving you gold and silver and platinum here. Use it. Now, what about chat in these versions? Well, how about setting a range limit? A player within X amount of distance can hear each other talk. Maybe you don't want another player hearing you and your group within draw distance. You can tune it to a closer setting. Or once in a group, you can decide whether outside players can now hear what you and your group are even saying. And lastly, looting in PvP. In the Dark Zone, you can collect a number of items that have been contaminated before having to unload it as a designated evac site. Still, this is stupid as hell to me. But what about in the regular map? This is a bit tricky, as there's a couple ways to do it. First off, let's say you and a couple randos finish an instance, or dungeon if you prefer, on hard mode. It was a long and tough fight, but you got an amazing gun out of it that you really needed, and it's so cool. You've already customized it, it looks amazing, you've been using it the entire map since you got it, you love it. You don't want one of those guys then to, you know, that you ran with, to leave the group and then just kill you and take it, right? And you lose it. Maybe put a time limit to prevent thefts after or something like this? No, actually, that would be the wrong answer. In a PvP kill case outside of the Dark Zone, where instead of the player losing all held loot and some currency, you can do a couple of things here actually. The most obvious is a random loot drop that increases in rarity, and such as you and the level of the player you killed goes higher, like it does in the game anyways. I'm at level 26 right now, and I'm starting to get purple loot drops, the second best loot from random enemies now. Since you are killing a player, maybe make it a higher chance for you to get a better item than you would other times. Like in this area, since you're 10 to 15, you're getting some blue drops, mostly green. Well, you killed a player, now you're getting more often blue drops than you are green, or maybe half and half, something like that. Maybe even a copy of the player's own weapon if you're super lucky though. And as for the player who gets killed, well, aside from bruised pride, they shouldn't really lose anything, I think. It's not fair to them, especially if it's like the scenario I mentioned earlier, where you were running with someone and then as soon as you got out, he turned around and killed you. Now we have a viable means of allowing players to run around on the game and see each other whenever. But will Ubisoft do this? In all likelihood, no. And it's not because they did or did not watch this video or anything like that, or stupid like that. It's more complicated. See, in Final Fantasy XIV, as well as most MMORPGs, there are a ton of multiple servers for players to go to play on. And that's because there will be a lot of players on all at the same time. One server can't handle however many of us there are at the same time. So rationing them out to various ones reduces stress not just for the server, but for the players and their games as well. No game yet can handle everyone on at the same exact time in the same exact server. Figure our computers and consoles will probably explode at that. And Ubisoft hasn't really set up anything like that here from what I can tell. So being able to run around and able to see players running by you like you would on an MMORPG isn't really possible here. And they aren't going to put forth the time, energy, and money to implement all that. The game out now was already pushed back a bunch of times for those who remember. They can't keep pushing it back like that. It needed to get out. But I'm not saying that Ubisoft couldn't still do it. Not at all. But the time, manpower, money, and everything else needed to do it is just too much, especially with the game out now. Right? It makes sense for it to be, right? I mean, yes, Ubisoft does like taking out money like EA does, sure. But this game is kind of different. Even Siege was pushed back. And look at it. A better Call of Duty, Battlefield, Hardline cross than either game by itself by leaps and bounds. But this game, they really put forth the effort into it. I mean, they did hold it back at least twice that I know of. For 2 extra years. Not even their Assassin's Creed franchise has been given that much love in any of its games. And that's saying a lot. You walk around this city, it looks and feels like it's been hit hard. It's a beautiful, terrible, but beautiful thing to just walk around this city like this. They put so much into designing it, and the weapon effects on cars, beautiful. So, would Ubisoft just say nuts to it now that it's out? Actually, and I understand, this is weird even for me to say here, but I don't completely think so this time. Normally, I'm not that optimistic with the company, especially Ubisoft, as far as cash-making wars go, but this time, they really put the effort into this game. It's not all there yet. I know that the game will have 3 expansions furthering all of the city that we can travel. I mean, we started on the mainland in the prologue. We are going back again at some point for sure, but the Division could actually be the real shooter MMORPG we've been seeking for a while now. It's not there this time, but that doesn't mean it can't be. Everything is there for this game to really step it up. And I really hope what I've talked about here reaches Ubisoft. I really do. I would love for them to see this video and take these ideas I've talked about and make it a thing for, well, maybe not this game, for a sequel. Because this could really be something. I would love that. Hell, maybe they already are working on it. There's still more to come. We already know that. And I honestly don't think Ubisoft is saying we're done with this game yet. And I hope this game does turn into something more. It has that chance. It has that opportunity. It has the chops to do it, too. But for now, well, I'll see you all in the instances. And God help whichever one of you tries to fuck with me in the Dark Zone. You ain't stealing my shit, you little motherfuckers.
You alright?
Blocked. And I'm talking long term.
So much for watching.
Sure, people got them when they first came out, but they were so one-target demographic that by the time the next Call of Duty came out, the servers were basically dead for that current game. So what changed between the new Black Ops 3 and the prior games? The corporation of the name EA Games. It's in the microtransactions. Want this cool gun skin for just one of your guns? Give us $5. Hell yeah! Now you're awesome. Started coming in and saying what they wanted so as to have the games come out faster so they could get their money faster. And as a result, the games lean more heavily towards one type of player, Twitch shooters. I know all FPS games, first-person shooters, have them, but Call of Duty basically became their powerful, which was the wrong move. Why? Because not everybody is like that. Not everybody runs and guns. Some people snipe or sit still. Some people like to use tech to do most of the work. And those three games punish players like that. You a casual gamer? Well, don't play these games. Don't game up, you'll get wrecked. Which is why Modern Warfare 2 and 3 still get so much love from fans. Even I still like them.